He was never supposed to be on that jet. Not that night, not this month, not at all. In fact, just hours earlier, Prince Harry had been telling people around him that the UK was not on his calendar, not even a distant thought. Montecito felt safe, predictable, controlled. But then a message landed, quiet at first, almost whispered. The kind of whisper that changes lives. The palace hadn't just discussed it. They hadn't debated it. They had started the process. The internal machinery had begun turning. And once it turns, it doesn't stop. The Duke and Duchess titles weren't under review anymore. They were being dismantled. Not rumors, not tabloids, action. Inside Harry's circle, everything collapsed at once. Phones vibrated nonstop. Aides spoken hushed, frantic tones. Plans evaporated mid-sentence. Someone tried to talk about strategy, about statements, about optics, about buying time. Harry shut it all down. No spin. No press releases. No soft landings. Just one sentence, sharp and final. Get me to London. Now, within hours, a private jet was scrambled. No Meghan. No children. No entourage. Just Harry alone with his thoughts. Flying straight toward the storm he'd been avoiding for 4 years. And here's the part no one expected. The man he wanted to see wasn't his father. It wasn't King Charles. It was William. That detail alone tells you everything, because something has shifted inside the palace and everyone knows it. For months, there have been whispers behind those ancient walls. A quiet transfer of gravity. King Charles, weighed down by illness and relentless pressure, has been choosing calm over conflict. He avoids confrontation. He delays decisions. He wants peace. But William has stepped into something else entirely. Not the future king, the acting one. Staff have a name for this period now, the pre-accession era. A polite phrase hiding a brutal truth. William is calling the shots. Crisis meetings go through him. Major decisions cross his desk. The public image of the monarchy bends to his approval. And the patience he once had, gone. He wants discipline, clean lines, no chaos, no embarrassment leaking into the headlines every few weeks. The Sussex situation, in his mind, has dragged on far too long. And for Harry, that realization is terrifying, because the brother who once protected him is now the one holding the blade. While Harry crosses the Atlantic in a silent race against time, London is already moving with ruthless precision. William isn't emotional about this. He isn't impulsive. He's methodical. Sources say he quietly assembled a legal team. Specialists in constitutional law, royal precedent, obscure clauses that almost no one remembers until it's too late. This isn't revenge. This is architecture. Step by step. First, Prince Andrew, not mercy, not forgiveness, a test case, a way to map the legal road. Parliament had long argued that only a monarch could remove titles. William wants that authority clarified, modernized, secured for the next reign. Once Andrew's case establishes the mechanism, the same pathway can be used for Harry and Meghan, cleanly, legally, without William ever looking personal or vindictive. Cold, surgical, corporate, and Harry knows it. He knows once this system locks into place, there's no emotional appeal powerful enough to stop it. That's why he's flying. That's why he's desperate. Because paperwork is more dangerous than anger. But what truly pushed William past the edge wasn't Harry at all. It was Andrew and Fergie. Inside palace corridors, the Epstein nightmare never really ended. It only slept. And now it's stirring again. New whispers, darker ones. Allegations that go beyond social ties, financial ones, emails that may surface, claims that Scotland Yard was influenced, even manipulated, to undermine Virginia Giuffre's credibility. If even fragments of this are true, it doesn't just stain Andrew. It poisons the institution. Then there's Fergie, old financial links being re-examined. Claims of millions accepted over years, quiet support that allegedly sustained her lifestyle for more than a decade. To William, this isn't scandal anymore. It's decay, rot embedded deep inside the monarchy he's preparing to inherit. He sees the headlines coming, he sees public trust draining, he sees the crown bleeding credibility, one revelation at a time. And in that moment, he decides something that changes everything. If the family won't clean itself, he will. That decision is the first domino. And it sends Harry into freefall. When Harry learns that legal preparations are actually underway, something breaks. He stops being the relaxed California dad, the confident memoir author, the outspoken rebel. He becomes a man in crisis. No lawyers, no intermediaries, no emails. He wants William. Face to face. Before the decision becomes irreversible. But William isn't interested in tears or explanation. He wants evidence, change, accountability. One source put it bluntly, William doesn't want a speech. He wants an example. And the cost of mercy is staggering. And the public attacks. Scale back memoir plans. Detach from Meghan's commercial use of royal identity. Stop leveraging the name. Return to discipline, silence, submission. Undo 4 years of defiance. Shrink the spotlight. Put the crown above personal pain again. It's not a negotiation. It's an ultimatum. Harry knows William isn't bluffing. He knows the machinery is already humming. And once a title is gone, it never comes back. That's why every mile toward London feels like a countdown. He isn't just trying to save a title. He's trying to save the last version of himself that still belongs to that world. Meanwhile, inside Buckingham Palace, King Charles sits alone with papers he never wanted to read. 2 crowns weigh on him, the crown of state and the crown of family grief, illness, exhaustion, a kingdom watching his every move. 2 sons now divided by power and pain. On one side, William, controlled, decisive, relentless. On the other, Harry, emotional, volatile, forever shadowed by controversy. Government officials are watching closely, quietly reminding Charles that another scandal could push the monarchy into constitutional danger. Stabilize the image or risk intervention. And Charles understands the cruel truth every monarch learns too late. The crown survives only when someone is sacrificed. It doesn't make it hurt less. As Harry's plane descends, the reality sharpens. Without the titles, everything collapses. No Duke of Sussex, just Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor. Meghan loses the status that powered her global branding. The children lose symbolic protection, their princely identities erased with a signature. And the fallout isn't just emotional, it's financial. Book deals, streaming contracts, speaking fees, all fueled by one thing, royal shine. Without it, the magic fades. Security costs rise, invitations disappear, influence shrinks. As one aide allegedly said, without titles, they're just another celebrity couple with a past. Morning breaks over the palace. Guards change shifts. Sunlight hits the stone. A new era is already underway. William stands firm, uncelebratory, unsoftened. He has cut away chaos, shielded the crown. He looks ready, not waiting for the throne, but already shaping it. Across the ocean, Harry wakes into a world that has moved on without him. Doors closed, identity stripped. But this isn't the end. It's the beginning of something colder. A monarchy remade. A family fractured. A prince forced to discover who he is without the crown he once fled. And now, desperately wants back. Because in the House of Windsor, power doesn't whisper. It reigns. And the silence that follows is louder than any headline Harry has ever faced. No calls returned. No sudden olive branch. No dramatic last-minute rescue. Just distance. Controlled. Deliberate. The kind of silence that tells you decisions have already been made in rooms you were not invited into. As the hours pass, Harry begins to understand something chilling. This fight was never about emotion. It was about containment, about drawing a line so sharp that even blood ties couldn't blur it. He walks through familiar corridors that no longer feel welcoming. The portraits on the walls stare back like witnesses, reminders of a lineage that had survived wars, abdications, betrayals, and quietly erased those who no longer fit. Harry feels it in his chest, that creeping realization that history isn't sentimental. It doesn't pause for trauma. It doesn't care about intention. It only remembers outcomes. And William knows this better than anyone. Those close to him say he barely sleeps now, not because of guilt, but because of responsibility. Every choice he makes ripples forward decades. He isn't thinking about brotherhood. He's thinking about survival. A monarchy that adapts or dies. A crown that cannot afford emotional leaks in a digital age where scandal spreads faster than truth. To William, Harry isn't just a sibling anymore. He's a liability the institution can no longer carry. That truth hurts more than any punishment. Harry tries to reason with himself. He tells himself this is temporary. That fathers forgive. That brothers bend. That the system will soften once the noise fades. But deep down, he knows better. He's seen the files. Felt the chill. Watched doors close without a slam. This isn't exile in name. It's exile in practice. And Meghan, across the ocean, feels it too. The calls are shorter now. The reassurance thinner. She understands optics, branding, power. And she understands what this loss really means. Not just a title, but leverage, access, mystique. The unspoken authority that turns opinions into headlines and projects into empires. Without it, they must stand on talent alone. And talent in Hollywood is never enough. The children remain unaware, blissfully shielded, but their future is quietly being rewritten. No balcony moments, no whispered deference, no invisible shield that once came with royal blood. They will grow up hearing stories about what was lost, not what they inherited. And that knowledge will linger. Back inside the palace, the machinery continues. Meetings, Signatures. Legal language stripped of feeling, each word precise, final. This is how monarchy survives, not through drama, but through procedure. And William watches it unfold without flinching. He knows history will judge him harshly or kindly, but it will judge him as effective. King Charles signs where he must, hesitates where he can. But the direction is clear. He is tired. And tired kings do not fight their heirs. By the time Harry realizes there will be no dramatic reversal, something inside him hardens. Not with anger, but grief. A quieter, heavier grief. The kind that doesn't scream, the kind that settles. He isn't losing a title anymore. He's losing a place in a story that was written before he was born. And yet, the irony cuts deep. He once said he wanted freedom. He once said titles were burdens. He once claimed the crown trapped him. Now, stripped of it, he understands what it truly gave him. Not power, but permanence. A guarantee of belonging. And without it, the world feels frighteningly temporary. William steps forward into a future, already bending to his shape. Charles fades gently into legacy, and Harry stands at the edge of reinvention, forced to become something new without the safety net of something old. This is how royal eras end. Not with explosions, but with quiet signatures and long silences. And somewhere between duty and blood, a brother becomes a king, and a prince becomes a man the crown no longer recognizes.